Monday, the 20th of February. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is your Frontier opening bell, and it's Nigeria's election week. It's taking a long time in coming. Now we're down to the final 5 days to the elections on Saturday. So this is the week when we expect the market to begin to be impacted if sentiments will be around the political risk of the country. The stock market fell sharply 1.32% on Friday, and that perhaps gave a pointer that investors are beginning to take profit. A lot of bullish run in the first 2 weeks of the month. Now it looks like the political season is beginning to hit into the market, and investors are beginning to vote with their legs. That's the issue, by the way. But let's see what today's market will look like. But that was where we finished off on Friday. The BRVM down by 16. The Egyptian stock market started Sunday, which is the start of the week, in Cairo by 0.93%, roughly 1% in the negative 33 on the EGX30. The Nairobi Bourse finished 0.28% on Friday. That's a positive reading at 128.02 for the NSE All Share Index. And the Johannesburg stock market dipped below the 80,000 level on Friday, 1.21%, in line with the rest of the emerging markets around the world. So let's just take that on. Today, the stock market in Mauritius is closed, as well as flights in and out of the country are also cancelled because of the cyclone, a huge one that is bearing down on the Indian Ocean market. So don't expect the Mauritius Stock Exchange to be open today, at least until the coasts are clear for that in Mauritius. So I just want to let you know that very quickly. So we take on the East African top stories, with Rwanda raising key interest rates to 9-year high of 7% because of the country's inflation begin to bear down on everyone. The International Monetary Fund has raised DRC's growth outlook for 2022 to 8.5%, while Kenya's to cap spending, that's according to the Treasury, will cap the spending at 75% of revenue growth. Try to spend within the limit of your revenue and try to contain fiscal deficit. That's what the Treasury under the new President William Ruto is looking to do for 2023-2024 period. And Tanzania signed 40 deals under President Samia Suluhu worth about 2 trillion shillings to stabilize the country's power sector. Let's step into West Africa and see what's making the headlines. Let's talk about Nigeria's market week, the countdown to the hotly contested presidential election and the parliamentary elections this Saturday. Everyone is on the edge as we speak right now. The military has been drafted across the country and try to maintain peace and ensure that the polls go as smoothly as possible. Nigeria is electing a new president and a new National Assembly. It's a major transition after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, who will leave office on May the 29th. The Organization of Petroleum Exports in countries last week says Nigeria's oil output's been up 1.9%, about 1.258 million barrels per day, and the outlook is that the country could get back to is 1.8 million barrels per day, perhaps cross the 2 million barrels per day threshold once again. About 300,000 barrels have been pulled back into the official figure, and that's what the OPEC was talking about in its latest report. The MTN in Ghana is romancing the Ghana Revenue Authority and says it plans to spend $1 billion over the next 5 years in terms of investments in the country. Sounds similar to MTN Nigeria, when the issue of back taxes had to be taken to court, it was rearranged, it was all negotiated, and the central bank, all of that seemed to be playing out again in Ghana, but that's now been resolved. And the MTN now says, well, the telco will spend $1 billion over 5 years in investments in Ghana after the issue of back taxes has been cleared. Bloomfield Investment Corporation has affirmed the A rating and stable outlook for Bank of Africa of Burkina Faso in that news came just as we're heading for the weekend. Let's get into the Southern Africa, with Eskom looking to take down 6,000 megawatts of its total output of its current output. That will keep the outages in Africa's most advanced economies in place. Debt is Africa's biggest problem right now, and that's according to the Zambia's finance minister, who was speaking at the AfDB AU Commission new report, which was launched on Friday. It was done in Addis Ababa, just as the African Union Summit was getting started in Ethiopia. And Glencore, the global commodities trading company, is facing another bribery scandal in the UK court after the Glencore was asked to pay about $1.2 billion to resolve some of the previous cases, flying bribery money across Africa into countries such as Nigeria and Angola and a few others. And now a fresh case has been filed against Glencore in the UK court. ABSA has flagged double-digit earnings growth and amid insurance recovery for the financial services group, which includes the bank and a few other subsidiaries within the financial ecosystem. Petrol company Red and Coupon in Zimbabwe has been taken off the blacklist of the government in terms of foreign currency market misbehavior. The government had come down very heavily in recent months against companies that were playing games, as it were, with the currency market, and that's now been resolved for this particular company. You guys be here, you get your names ticked off the blacklist. Let's get on to see North Africa's top headlines this Monday. The AfDB and the Islamic Development Bank have signed deals to support Africa's pharmaceutical sector, which will help the healthcare sector, broadly speaking. So quite a bit of funding will be coming from these two DFIs to support pharmaceuticals across the continent. And the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development says giving $5 million loans to Morocco packaging sector. That's part of helping the industrial manufacturing sector of one of the biggest countries north of sub-Saharan Africa. And AfDB Group has launched leasing and factoring services in Egypt, while the agric sector in Egypt, the exports hit a fresh record high. That's according to Fitch Solutions, while Libya and Palestine says they've signed an MOU in the area of investment to get the two countries together. That's a handshake across the Palestine, in a manner of speaking, with Libya. And that's your curtain raiser this week for your Frontier Opening Bell. I am boasting them. If I go online, you can watch the show again. You can read up our stories or post regularly, and all other shows at frontierafricareports.com, as well as YouTube is free. You can subscribe. Join us on social media platforms as well. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great week ahead.